Good morning, blockers. Welcome to our Sampler 2 Tuesday, where today we are working on block number 8, Believe in Magic. And I have behind me, I redid my wall, which I'll show you my other wall over here on the other side in just a moment. But behind me, straight above, is our number 8 block that we will be working on. And I actually have block number 9 ready for next week as well, so you can kind of get a glimpse of what that's going to look like. My number 7 block, however, when I said last week that I needed to go ahead and change my center because I wasn't very happy with that, that hasn't happened yet because I had a lot going on this week. So that will happen, and hopefully get that one up here ASAP. But we are just moving right along, and before you know it, we're going to have this puppy done. So again, we're working on block number 8, and I am going to go around to be able to show you the other setup wall that I have created, and also our cutting instructions for this week's block. Okay, so here we have blocks 1 through 6. My wall was not big enough to hold all of these blocks because they are the 18.5 by 18.5 inch blocks. So they are much bigger than what we are probably used to working with. So we had to move over to the other wall here to display those pieces. And let me just try to skim over and show you our new wall, which is this one right here. And as you can see, there is block number 8 and block number 9. Again, like I said, my block number 7, I need to redo my center, and I will have that one up as soon as I get that one redone. Now we're going to go down and check out our cutting instructions for this week's block. All right, I apologize. This week I do not have any cards labeling because I happen to leave those at home. And instead of taking the time to be able to create more, we're just going to go ahead and I'm just going to show you what they are. And if you have your pencil and paper ready, if you're writing them all down, please be ready to be able to go through these. And the first one, as we always, start with our background row here. And you are going to need 2 4 1/4 inch squares. This is letter A. And you need 2 4 1/4 inch square. For letter B, they need to be 2 4 inch square. Letter C, we've got the rectangle here, and that is 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangle. And to complete our background fabrics, our letter D, we need 4 3.5 inch squares. Okay, we're going to move on over here to letter E, and this is going to be our inner, where our inner square that has the half triangles. So this is going to be 6 4 inch squares, and this is letter E. Letter F, and these are going to be the complementary that go on the other side of these pieces here. And this is letter F. This is 2 4 inch squares. Letter G, you need 2 3 7/8 inch squares. We're going to move down here, and this is our letter H, and you need 2 4 inch squares. I, you need 2 3 7 inch square. And then we come over here to our J. You need 2 at 4 1/4 inch square. K is 4 3 1/2 inch square. And then we have our little 2 inch square here that goes into each one of our corners. And that is letter L. And again, those are your 2 inch squares. So you need 4 2 inch squares. Okay, so hopefully everybody got that down. And let's go ahead and get started here. Let me go around and readjust. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And I went ahead and pulled the one off of the display wall so that I can take you through to show you each one of the pieces, because I kind of had some help this week, and there are some things that I've got to go back through and redo and match up. So we're going to just go ahead and go by this, and I'm just going to show you what pieces to put together, and on some of them I will go through and show you how they need to be cut. Okay, hopefully I'm still within frame here and you will be able to see everything that I am doing. So let's go ahead and get started. For those of you that have the book, you know it's an easy follow. So you can go ahead and work on that as you go. And I know many of you already have this block even done. So the ones that don't and the ones that don't have this book and depend on me to give you the measurements, hopefully you were able to get all of those written down and cut. Let's go ahead and begin. So the very first step is always making our corner pieces. So always making these with the red in the corner. And so we need our letter C and we need a letter L. Let me reach over here and grab one of these. So if this is sitting in front of me, I am going to lay this on here with right sides together, okay? And we are going to want to draw our line. Let me go ahead. I know all of you should already be doing this and know this all by now, but sometimes there's still people that are like, now how did you do that again? Because mine's not turning out, or you know, sometimes people just want to watch. And we'll go ahead and we'll do the line here. Remember, I always match mine up, and then I have one of my lines here that I'm matching this tip to be right in sync with this line. And that way I know that that is a true diagonal. So with, again, right sides together, we're going to lay this right on top of here with the diagonal line going, say if I'm at my left hand, the lower left going up, straight up, okay? So you will go ahead and do your stitch line on here, and that way this piece will be able to flip over to create a whole new piece. So once you get that stitched, you're going to come here and measure for your 1/4 inch, just like this. So this is my 1/4 inch mark, and it's right on top of what would be my stitch line. I will trim this part off and be able to fold that over and make sure that you press your seam there, okay? And this is what is going to create this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece, okay? Now, I'm going to set this aside, and we will move on to the D. So whatever you have for letter D, which should be one background color, and let's see, and this happens to be one of my plaid pieces. And I will tell you that that was probably not a good idea to choose this type of a fabric to be able to work with this. Very hard to try to get it to line back up to look right. So There's a couple of pieces that I may be going back in to redo. But for now, this is what I have, and so this is what I'm going to show you. But with these two, you want to just put these right sides together, okay? And you're going to do a 1/4 inch stitch right along the right-hand side, and then go ahead and press that. So when you have that done, then you're going to take the piece that you had, the L and the C, so that piece, and let's act like this is our corner piece stitched up here. So you're going to take your C and your L piece along with your D and your K piece, and you're going to flip that on top of each other and do your 1/4 inch stitch. You're going to press that, and that now is going to create this unit and this unit and this unit and this unit. So your 1/4, or it's not a 1/4, I guess, your corner is what I'm trying to say. Your corner blocks will be completely done and set aside, okay? So we'll set those aside at the moment. Now we are going to take letter A, which is also a background piece, and our letter J, which happens to be another one of my plaid pieces. And you want to make sure, so you've got your right side, let me see. You want to go ahead, I'm not going to put, I don't like to stack things, because when you go to cut those, and sometimes if there's movement, then if it's all just that little smidge, you will be able to notice it some point in your stitching. So I am going to, where's my piece at here? It's wanting us to go ahead and cut at a diagonal. Okay, so if you are comfortable and don't need to use your line to draw, whoops, that just went flying, and you just want to go ahead and just give it a cut and lift that, make sure that they are back in order, and lay it down and match that back up, corner to corner. And then give that a cut. You're wanting 4 pieces. You want 4 triangles out of both of these pieces. All right, and you're going to make a total of 8 of these. So you have two pieces of the A, which is your 4.5 inch square, and you're going to cut that to make 4 triangles twice. So that gives you 8 triangles. And the same thing for your letter J. You're going to cut that, and you'll have 4 pieces, and then cut one more for another 4, for a total of 8 pieces. Okay, and then let me go ahead and I'll do this, because there's on down the way here, I need to be able to show you what pieces we are putting together using those triangles. And it just will make things a lot easier, because a lot of times people just learn better when they see it. And I know there's a lot of you out there that are just like that. Okay. And so now here are my 4 pieces for that. And I'm only going to just do the one, because I actually need to trim these all up so that they are actually going to fit into my pieces. So I'm going to set these aside. So this was my letter A, and this was my letter J. Okay. Now we're going to take letter G. So that would be one of my gray pieces. And we are going to take letter I. And that happens to be one of my green pieces. And on both of these, this one here I actually need to press. But on both of these, you're just going to cut at a diagonal. Okay, so I am just going to line that up there. Just like so. Make sure everything's matching up here. And give that a little slice. And the same with the green piece. Go ahead and cut that piece. Okay. And on these, you're going to want a total of 4. Okay. So with the letter G, we needed 2 of these at 3 7/8 inch. And then with letter I, this was 2 of these at, wait, did I get that right? 3 7/8. I think that was right. Yeah. Yeah, both of these are 3 7/8 inches. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to set that up there, and put those up here. Hopefully I am still in shot of the screen here. Now we are going to assemble these pieces together, and we are going to take our letter G, okay, which is my gray piece right here. I'm going to just lay that out, and we're going to take an A and a J. And remember, we kind of did this last week also, but we're going to, oops, let me think here. This is going to go this way, and this is going to go this way, because you want it to make a complete square, okay? And make sure that you are laying these out just like this before you do any stitching, because these can get very, very confusing, and you will be doing a lot of ripping out if you have not put these two together properly. So go ahead and lay it out for your block. So you're going to have your letter A. So whatever color, pattern, whatever you have for letter A, that is A. This one is J, and this is G. And we're going to make 4 of these, okay? And when you do this, you want to go ahead and flip this one over to this side, right sides together there, where you're going to stitch in the center here. You're going to stitch your 1/4 inch. You're going to press that, and then you bring it back over, line it back up, and you're going to flip this piece on top, and you're going to stitch your 1/4 inch here, and then you're going to press it, open it up, and you will have your completed block. And so the block that we're making now is this block right here. All right, so you see this block right here with my gray, and then this one here. Let's see, not that one, this one. It's right here, it's here, 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 and here. So those will be the blocks that you use, pieces you use for that block. So I'm going to set that one aside. Now, and remember, you're making 4 of those. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, we're going to go ahead and do just like what we did, but this time we're going to use our J, or I'm sorry, our I piece. So my I piece happens to be my green. And then we go ahead and we take our A and our J, and we do that again. Oops, let's see, right sides, okay. We're going to build up our block again. So we've got our square block, okay. Actually, I need to flip this though. This is very, very important. You want to make sure that you're doing this right. So you want your eye piece to be closest to your right hand. So on this corner piece, so you want your eye toward your right hand. And now you're going to have your A and your J. All right, because what we're creating now is just the opposite side of the block that we just did. So it's this one over here, and here, and here, and here. Okay, now if you do not have this on this side, all you're doing is recreating the block that we just did, and it will not work. So you want to make sure that your J, or I'm sorry, I keep calling this J, your eye piece toward your right side, whereas the other piece here was, our G piece was toward our left side. Okay, so hopefully everybody understood that. Maybe if I lay it out this way, it might help too. So if I do this, and then over here where we have our G piece, right, we put it just like that. So you see you have the G piece on the left side, closest to the left side, and then we have the green piece over here that is my eye on my right. So when these go together, then they are going to end up fitting together to create this unit here. So if you can you see that unit? So you've got these two blocks that are going to fit together here. Okay? All right, so let me go ahead and set these aside. And so, like I just showed you, you will just go ahead and take those blocks, and you're going to flip them together. Once you have both of these units together, you'll go ahead and stitch those down the center, a 1/4 inch, okay? And then you're going to come over and get your letter B, which is also a background piece. Let me go ahead and move all of these out of the way because let's say we're all finished with those. So we have our B, and we have our E piece, okay? And on this one, let's get this is one that we're gonna want to do our Fons and Porter ruler to be able to draw our stitch lines on both sides and line this up on here and draw our line for our center. That will be our cutting line. Okay, so I did this on my B, and I'm also, well, let's see, they'll go together, so we won't need to do that. Let's go ahead and right sides together, okay? So I'm going to take and I'm going to flip this on top. See my piece, I need to stitch that, not stitch, I need to trim this up, so I apologize. When I'm able to get to be able to do that and get better measurements, then I will get this block made too. My girls are all trying to help me this week because I was with my daughter. She had back surgery and it wasn't doing very well with it, so I had to spend a lot of time with her this week, and it's put me way behind with a lot of things. And especially with our Candy Cane Lane getting ready to happen this week, there's just all kinds of hurry, rush. So just bear with me here. I'm trying to get everybody through this, but you're going to want to be able to, like I said, right sides together. And this is letter B, that's a background piece, and then my letter E is what's on the bottom. And I am going to take and I'm going to stitch on these outside lines here. So I will stitch here, and then I will stitch this way, and then I will come over and I will cut down the center. And so that will give me two pieces, and you're going to make four of those. And I believe that, let me see here. Let me just look at something real quick. Yes, so that will give you, you're actually going to have two pieces, two of these. So when you cut it, that'll be 1, 2, and then the other one will be 3, 4. That will be your 4 pieces. And that is making this piece here. You're making your pinwheel for your center piece, okay? So go ahead and make that. And when you're going through, I so apologize, I didn't go through and tell you your measurements of what they should be so that you can trim to make sure everything is okay. So let me touch base real quick on that. If you have a pencil and paper and you're following along, please write this down. The L and the C here that goes into each one of the corner pieces, okay, that should measure 3.5 inch by 6.5 inch. So make sure you trim up anything outside of that. And you're making 4. And then your D, which is this here, your D and your K piece, you're stitching in the center, and then you're putting this all together. This entire block right here, and here, and here, and here, this should all measure 6.5 by 6.5 inches. Okay, so make sure that you're following along with doing your proper measures, because that's going to help you know that you are on target of this being an 18.5 by 18.5 inch block. Okay. And then when we get down to these little blocks right here, the measurement should be 3.5 by 3.5 on both of these. So 3.5 by 3.5, and this one here is also 3.5 by 3.5. Okay, and then this one that we just did, the E and the F. Wait, did I do E and F? E, F. Oh, I think I just totally skipped over what I was doing. I am so sorry. I've got B and E here. So let's just go ahead and I'll tell you. The B and the E is what is making this whole pinwheel, and this should measure 6.5 by 6.5 once you get that all together. You're going to press those pieces, and then just like we do with everything else, you'll lay it out, you'll lay it over, stitch, press, put this one here, lay it over, stitch, press, and then you'll flip this on top of each other, right sides together, and do a stitch here, and your completed piece should be 6.5 by 6.5. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set those aside. And let me jump back here because somehow I just kind of spaced over a whole unit. So the next thing we need is H, which is one of my greens. If I can grab a hold of it here. Well, they're all sticking together. Okay, so here's an H. And our letter E, which is also one of my poinsettia pieces. Okay, and so I'm going to lay that out here. Let me actually do it this way. H and E. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to do a diagonal cut, okay, to give me 2 pieces. And then we're going to take and stitch those, because that is what's going to give us these pieces here. All right, so if you go ahead just like what we did with the center here, and we're going to line this up to be able to get our diagonal cut. Oops, I don't want to cut yet. I want to draw my line because we are going to make this a all at once block. Okay, So we're going to draw the lines on both sides there, and then we will draw our cut line. And when you go over, these will be right sides together. Okay, let's go this way. And you will stitch down the outside line on both sides, and then leave this center line here because that is your cut line. When you get that cut apart, you will have two pieces. When you open those up, you want to make sure that they are pressed. You will have a total of 4 pieces, and that is what is creating, if you see these 2 pieces here, that is creating this side, this side, this side, and this side. Okay, and it's just that little square right there. Okay, and so we'll put that over there. And then what you're going to do, you will have at that time, you're going to have these 2 pieces that you're going to go ahead and do your stitch down the center. So you will lay those out, making sure that, let's see, what was that? My G, that was G and I. Your G and I are touching, okay? So you want to make sure that those are lining up to be able to get your triangle piece when it's all done. It's going to create one triangle. And so it's this right here is the block that we are making at this point. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to create this middle unit, and you will take the first 2 pieces that we worked with here, and you're going to line those up, making sure that this color matches with whatever color you had going right here, and this one here as well, so that it makes a big arrow when you put it together. You're going to flip those right sides together, okay, and you're going to do your stitch, and you're going to measure this, and this block here should be 6.5 by 6.5, this whole section right here. So you've got your center part that's 6.5 by 6.5, you've got your middle section here all the way around that should be 6.5 by 6.5, and then you have your outside corners that are also 6.5 by 6.5. All right, now you should have your center. You have your center, you have your middle pieces, and you have your outside block pieces. And all you're going to do is what we've been doing all along. You're folding that inside or flipping it over to this side to do your stitch, press, flip this one over, stitch, press. Do that on all 3 sections. And then you're going to take one strip, flip it over to the center. You're going to do your stitch, 1/4 inch, and you're going to press, and then you're going to bring it over and you're going to take this one and put it on top to the center, right sides together. You're going to do your stitch and press, and then voila. Here we go. Believe in magic. There is our Believe in Magic block. And your complete block then, when you measure that up, should be 18.5 by 18.5 inches. That actually turned out to be a really pretty block. That's a fun block. So I'm going to run around and flip the camera up so that we can continue on doing our drawing and such, and be able to show again next week's block. All right, so we have now completed our number 8 block. Hallelujah. And so that you can see then, if I'm hopefully in the screen, but you can see that our block number 9 here is create a memory block is what it is called. And that will be what we will be doing then next week. I'm going to try to go ahead and video for that block as well. So I'm trying to get a bunch done so we can kind of get ahead of ourselves a little bit and try to have everything done before Thanksgiving. I think I've kind of learned a lesson that trying to cram all this together, it's just not like my forte. So I'm trying. I am truly trying here. So hopefully you're understanding everything that I'm throwing at you, and I apologize profusely with everything going on and everything we have coming up, and there's just so much, and I think I'm finding my limits. But that's a good thing, right? So let's go ahead and draw. I just want to touch too, if you do not have your strips all done, now would be a good time to really try to get those going as much as possible, because we are going to begin creating like our pieces, so that we don't have everything to do all at once. But we're going to start going through trying to sew all of our pieces together to try to get ahead and get things done. So there are only a few of you that did turn in that you have strips done, and so I'm going to go ahead and do the drawing for the strips as well. And I have the names here for block number, let's see, we just did 8, block number 7, so last week. And let me pull out here and see what I have. And let's see. Oh, Tracy Kroger. Tracy Kroger, you lucky. You won this week's blocks. So make sure that you come in for your free yard of fabric. And we'll also have a goodie for you. And I'm going to go ahead, let me dump these out and get the names put these in here. Get our names for the ones that did the strips and do our drawing on that and see who we're going to have for another winner this week. Let me looky. Let's see. Oh, Julie Donnelly. Hey, Julie. You also win a free yard of fabric and a goodie for this week. So make sure that you stop in and pick that up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm going to be very busy this week trying to prepare for the Candy Cane Lane Holiday Bazaar. I hope you have your calendar marked. I hope you plan on coming. We will have 20 vendors here, and everything is completely handmade. There's no like Mary Kay or Tupperware, or none of that kind of stuff. This is all handmade with love from the heart gifts that you can purchase and give for Christmas gifts. So make sure that you try to stop by. And also we will have a humongous sale over on the other side, and every machine will be on sale at an unadvertised price. So if you are looking for a new machine, or you're needing just kind of an extra machine in case something happens to yours, or one that you want to take on a retreat, I would highly recommend considering coming next week to that sale, because we have a bunch of our Emerald 116s that just came in, and they will be at really good prices. So I hope that everyone has a great week, and I really hope that I see you this weekend. Until next week, guys, for block number 9, and it is create a memory. So I think I'm creating so many memories right now. Some of them I don't even want to remember. So, but hey, everybody have a great week, and we will see you then, all right? Take care, and God bless you.